This is the Sick'em Podcast, powered by Rogue Media Network. The Sick'em Podcast is a production of Baylor Athletics. Now, here are your hosts, Katie Smith and the voice of the Bears, John Morris.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to this week's Sick'em Podcast, powered by Rogue Media Network. John Morris, Katie Smith, and let's celebrate some championships and great performances and just a full season of activities with Baylor Spirit and Traditions. Kristen Hankins is our guest today.
Hi, guys. So excited to be here.
We're thrilled to have you here.
We're
Welcome
thrilled.
to you. Almost to the end of the year. Not
Yeah.
quite, but almost to the end of the school year.
Almost. Getting closer.
And what a year it's been. Huh?
Yeah.
It has been such an incredible, exciting year. I mean, how could it not be with 19 amazing athletic teams and then all the other wonderful things that we get to do as Baylor Spirit? So always a great year at Baylor Spirit.
Yeah. So I feel like a lot of people don't realize how much your team travels.
Right.
So talk a little bit about in normal conference seasons when you guys send different teams with basketball, football, right? Like, what does that look like?
Yes. So we do all home and away football games.
Wow.
So every time the football team travels, we travel. We do all home basketball games, men and women. And then when postseason starts with Big 12, we start traveling. And then we do all home volleyball, all home soccer. And then we have had the opportunity to travel with them postseason before as well.
Yeah.
And then we do all home acro and tumbling and have gotten to do their national championship here as well with them. And then we do a lot of university events. So we're actually leaving today. A group is leaving to do the Dr. Pepper tour for the university in Arizona.
Cool.
Next week, I leave with another group, and we'll be in California for the Dr. Pepper tour. And then we also did the Houston Livestock and Rodeo and the Reese's Cup Challenge. That was a part of the NCAA Men's Final Four, the big conference. The women's basketball Final Four championship, when they announced that it's coming to Dallas and all of that, we got to go to those things. So we really get to go to a lot of exciting events outside of just our athletic events. So we're traveling a lot.
Yeah, I'm exhausted listening
I
to
know,
that
exactly.
schedule.
Like I said, what a year.
What a year.
That is wild. And it's like, I mean, we see you at Baylor athletic events, but I'm guessing you get requested, like you said, to go to other things campus-wide, yes, but even outside of Baylor.
Even outside of Baylor, Baylor grads love having us at their weddings. So we do
that's
lots of
really
weddings
cool.
and things of that nature.
Yeah.
We do baby showers and announcements for babies and things of
That's
that
so
nature.
fun.
So we
You
get
do.
to really experience the greatness of everybody's life.
Yeah.
So it's really awesome.
And so is that usually our mascots that are part of those types of events? Or because your spirit teams do a lot of appearances
Yes.
as well.
It depends on the event, but a lot of them are a mix of things. But then a lot of those more specialized ones are more just Bruiser and Marigold.
That's so cool. I think that's a regret of my life, not having Bruiser at my wedding. And Marigold, of course.
Oh.
I know. We'll bounce back.
We'll see if we can change that. Have Bruiser just come by your office someday.
That would
just to
do
say
it. That
hi.
would do it for me.
There was one day I was sitting here in my office, and all of a sudden, here comes Bruiser and Marigold walking down the hallway, and I thought, hey, this is great.
Yeah.
Where else are you going to get something like that?
Right? We try to make some office visits every once in a while. Everybody needs a little joy in their life.
It
those
is very
are
fun.
highlights of my day. So we talk about all of these things that y'all do to support so many of our student athletes. You're traveling, you're sending different teams different places. But then this time of year is always really fun because we get to actually have your teams compete. So tell us a little bit about DTU College Classic. Am I saying that right?
Yes.
That was this past week and what that looked like for your programs.
It's a wonderful opportunity for our teams to show all of their excellent skills and things that they have honed over the years. So we have Marigold that competes, Bruiser that competes, and then the dance team competes in two different categories. One is team performance, and team performance is a combination of jazz, pom, and hip-hop.
Okay, wow.
And then game day. We really try to bring everything that is special about Baylor and special about our game days to that DTU floor and give them a taste of Baylor. So this year for the game day, we took them to the heart of McLean for Baylor game day on the Brazos,
Wow.
and we included the running of the Baylor line and the running of the Baylor line flags.
Oh, cool.
And John was wonderful to us. He actually did the Voice of the Bears intro for
yeah.
everything.
What?
That's amazing.
So we really brought everything that we could that is special to Baylor and put it on the Nationals floor. And we
Cool.
ended up in second place for that
Wow.
by 0.24. So
Oh,
Amazing.
that close. Wow.
That
oh
close.
my goodness.
And then for team performance, it was based on Queen, and it was this really fantastic routine that we ended up in second place with as well.
Wow.
And on the Bruiser and Marigold side, Marigold was Marigold Kart, so it was a spinoff of Mario Kart.
Oh, cute.
And
That's
then Bruiser did an aviation theme. We work a lot with our College of Aviation here at Baylor and do
Cool.
a lot of different things with them throughout the year. So we were excited to do an aviation theme, kind of off the Top Gun thing, but also tying in what's special about the aviation program here at Baylor.
That's
Huh, very
amazing.
cool. And tell everybody how Bruiser and Marigold did.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they competed against 8 other universities, and Marigold got a national championship for the 3rd time in a row. And
Yes.
Bruiser was runner-up by a 1/10 of a point.
Wow. A 1/10 of a point.
A 1/10 of a point.
What
So
incredible performances by both of them.
Yeah.
yes, truly, truly incredible performances. And our mascot security team, from idea all the way through competing, they do everything. They make every prop, every uniform, everything that you see on that stage. Our mascot security team has personally painted and put together.
And how many people make up that mascot security team?
We have 10 on our
Okay.
mascot security team.
Wow.
That
That
is
is so
great.
incredible.
So Baylor finishes with Bruiser and Marigold 1 and 2, and then everybody
Yes.
else behind.
Yes.
That's great.
Yes.
That's a great finish there.
It is a fantastic finish. We have a lot to be proud of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you say 3rd year in a row? Marigold has
3rd
won
year
it?
in a row for Marigold.
How
And
about
the
that?
interesting thing is Bruiser went into finals in first.
Oh.
And so then Marigold came out and said, wait a minute.
Little internal competition
Yes.
there, huh?
Man, I hadn't
between
even
those
thought that
two.
they had
I know.
had to compete against each other. It
Yeah.
just kind of hurts me a little.
Yeah, but they're so excited. They all, again, the whole entire team does both skits. And so when one of them wins, they all win. And they're so
Everyone's invested
excited.
in
They're
it.
so invested and they're so excited.
Yeah. And then how long, when you talk about the game day piece and the team performance to Queen that you were speaking about, like how long are you guys prepping for those routines?
We start prepping for them in January when we return
Okay.
from winter break.
Okay.
So we learn the routine typically on the dance side during fall break because that's kind of our one time that we have between football and basketball and
Yeah.
volleyball and everything. So we learn it over fall break, but we don't actually pick it back up again until we return in January.
Okay.
Very good. All right, so I'm fascinated by the mascot. Did any other school have 2 mascots?
No, that's kind of something that is different for Baylor.
Yeah, I would think so.
We
Yeah.
are one that competes both of them. So
Yeah.
there are a lot of schools that have 2 mascots,
Yeah.
but they internally will decide to compete one of them. We have continued to say, you know what, we have 2 phenomenal mascots
Yeah.
and we're going to compete on both.
That's
Gosh,
great.
I don't know how you'd pick.
No,
I know.
no, how would you?
Exactly.
I don't want that job.
And Bruiser's been around a while. Marigold,
Yes.
younger, newer.
Yes.
How long has Marigold been
Yeah.
around?
So when I started in 2017 is when we created Marigold.
Oh, okay, very good.
Oh,
She just had a birthday, too.
She did just
Wow.
have
When
a
is
birthday.
Marigold's birthday?
April 1st is when we
Yes.
celebrated. Is
I
that the day?
missed it. Oh, I'm sorry.
We were doing A&T that day, and
Ah.
we showed a shot of Marigold and celebrated her
Man,
birthday.
happy birthday,
on the air.
Marigold. Birth month.
Yes. And then Bruisers was during the volleyball game this fall. So
Oh.
it's exciting to get to celebrate with our Cub Club kids
Yeah,
That is
for
fun.
the birthdays.
that is fun. Well, I know for a fact, having grandkids, how popular Bruiser and Marigold are with kids of all ages.
Yeah.
But that's got to be so rewarding, I would think, to see just kids flock to them at games.
Yeah.
and
It
events.
is. It's so special. And that's really what keeps our team going all year long because it's a little warm in those suits.
Yeah. Yeah.
And anytime they even think about, oh, I'm getting tired or I'm getting worn down, you see this child or even adult, to be really honest, there's lots of adults that just adore them as well.
Yeah.
And and it perks you up really quick because it just reminds you of how special it is and what a wonderful experience to get to represent Baylor in that way.
Yeah, that's really cool. You mentioned how we have 10 people on our mascot security team. And are those the same individuals that rotate in and out of the suit? Sorry if I'm blowing any secrets,
Yeah,
but
be
there
careful
are multiple bruisers.
We have performers and non-performers.
Okay.
So our non-performers are our handlers. So they're the eyes and ears and mouth
Cool.
for our mascots.
Okay.
Very important.
Very
yes,
important.
very important. Very
need that.
important. And so between that, then there are 4 that do Marigold and 4 that do Bruiser.
Okay, and we're so thankful for that because it really, Bruiser and Marigold are everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
yes.
true. You need that many. And what
Yes.
about like a football game in September over the
takes
course of
everyone.
a game? Yeah, you rotate them through, don't
Yes, we
Oh
have to.
my
It takes
goodness.
everyone, especially in recent years when it's just been a little warmer. So it takes everyone to really make that happen. So they are all assigned quarters and events and things of that nature, and they love it. They love it.
you? Yeah.
And most of them were never mascots before they came to Baylor.
And so what is it about Bruiser and Marigold and being a part of y'all's program when they haven't done it before? Like, what do you think kind of draws them in?
I think the family aspect. Our mascot security team is incredibly close. They hang out with each other outside of practice, inside of practice. They do a lot together, and they've just become so close. I think just Bruiser and Marigold and ambassadors for the university and being at all of these, they have the best seat in the house at basically
Yeah.
every event. They
So
get to
true.
go to the coolest things. And so I think that that's the other side of it. And it's just fun. Mascots can do things that people can't.
Yeah, I love that. That can be the name of
hey,
our
that's
podcast.
exactly. No, that's right. I said in years past, I want to be the mascot at some point because it's a license to do whatever you want.
There's no rules for the mascot.
Yeah, whatever crazy thing you can think of, go do it, and everybody just laughs. There's Bruiser. That's funny. That's
Yes.
great. And they take advantage of it within reason.
Within reason, yes.
Okay, Kristen,
within
you heard
reason.
that. JMO would like to be the mascot at some point coming up.
Count me in if you ever need it.
I love it.
That
We
would
will
be-
absolutely do that for you.
That would be so fun. Any crazy stories through the years? I mean, with kids coming up to them
Yeah.
and wanting to hug them, and they can't really talk. And
I think
Seems like a mixture of something that could be crazy.
yes, and it's not so much crazy, but to us, it's crazy because they don't have full hands. So the way their
Right.
hands are in there are they're constrained, and so
Oh, gosh.
when they're in this big fursuit where again you don't have great vision, and then it's this large suit, and then you don't have real hands,
yeah.
and then people hand you their newborns.
No, do they?
And because they want pictures with Bruiser, and
That
we
makes
love it, we love
sense.
it.
Yeah.
But we also, this is your little child.
Yeah,
We do not
yeah.
want
And
to
we
be
can't use our
responsible,
thumbs.
yes, for hurting them or dropping them or.
So what
you
do y'all
know,
do?
So that's where the handlers come
Okay,
in,
okay,
and
okay.
they're able to say, "Hey, will you jump in the picture?" Or
Step
"Hey,
in
can we
quickly.
do something else?"
So smart.
But
Oh
we
my
ask that
goodness.
Bruiser and Marigold not hold little ones
Yeah,
just
young
because
ones.
out of protection for them.
Right.
Plus, sometimes if it's 100 degrees out there on the football field, those suits are a little wet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you're going to get back a very wet child.
Delightful.
That's
Wow,
great.
That's funny.
Well, I know they're magnets for
Oh.
kids of all ages.
Yeah.
Really
Absolutely.
fun.
People love them for sure.
So we're talking a lot about Bruiser and Marigold, but your Spirit squads.
Yeah.
What's the number? I think I'm always
We have
surprised.
95.
95
Wow.
total. That is
95.
wild.
And that's across Songleaders, all girl, and co-ed?
Yes.
Okay,
And mascots.
95.
95.
95.
So you do need that number though because of all the events we talked about to
Yeah.
kind of.
It does.
How
It
do you-
enables us to be at more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does. So
And so what's kind of your process of, okay, we've got a basketball game coming up or we've got a football game, deciding who travels to what, who stays here? Like, is it class schedules? How do you kind of, it seems like such a big schedule that you'd have to master.
So when it comes to home events, it's a little bit easier. We take every team and we divide them into squads.
Okay.
So Song has 2, All Girl had 4, Cheer had 3, things like that based on the number of people on that particular
Okay.
squad. And then the mascots pair off. There's a Bruiser Marigold, and there's 4 sets of those. And so then we assign that, and we just kind of go down the athletics schedule. Once we have everything, we're just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that way they know almost in September what their whole schedule is for the fall. And then when it comes to travel games, we select them based on attitude, attendance, appearance, and skill.
Okay.
And then we invite them on that travel trip. And then if they can't, because they can't miss a class, then we move them to another travel trip that works better with their class schedule.
Very cool.
So we definitely take classes into account because Baylor is a Tier 1 research school. Baylor is academically, very strong, and it's what they're here for. We love that they're a part of our program, but they're here to get those degrees and to do well in those classes. So that's always going to come first.
Class has got to come first.
It does.
Visiting with Kristen Hankins, Director of Spirit and Traditions at Baylor University. Very informative, very fun.
Informative.
Hey, I've had the privilege of calling games, telling stories about Baylor athletics, introducing the dance team at Nationals. Done that for a long time. Storytelling is an art. And there's a network in town doing just that. Rogue Media Network has produced over 80 original podcasts and shows ranging from comedy, true crime, business, and sports. If there's a story to tell, Rogue Media Network is telling it. You can find this podcast and all the other great Rogue Media Network shows on Spotify, on Apple, on YouTube, or anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Kristen, thanks so much for joining us. We know there is no slow time of the year for y'all, but let's talk a little bit about your background. So a graduate from SFA, and was coaching Spirit, leading a Spirit and Traditions program always kind of your career path, or how did you get into this?
Yes, I went to SFA and I was on the dance team there. And while I was getting my master's degree, stayed there and was the assistant coach of the dance team there. And then I took a break, and my dad was a football coach, and I always said, I'm not sure that coaching is going to be for me. And I got what I called my big girl job. And I was behind a desk, and it was not for me. So I was taking vacation days and coaching on nights and weekends. And my mom just looked at me one day and was like, why are we not doing what you love? And so I really thought about it hard, prayed about it hard, and I knew that the Lord said, this is where you should be. Coaching is where you should be. And an opportunity actually at McLennan Community College opened up very shortly after that. And ever since then, I've been coaching at the various stops until I've gotten to Baylor, and it's been such a wonderful blessing of 6 years.
Wow. And so was McLennan your first experience with Waco, Texas?
It was.
And kind of what'd you think? Like, was that a hard move, or what did you think about that transition?
I was moving from Houston, so it was definitely different. But I had grown up in Mineola, which is a tiny, tiny little East Texas town. So it was still bigger than that. So it wasn't a difficult move. And then I went to Wayland Baptist University in Plainview, Texas. So that was really small.
Just back and forth.
So yeah, it wasn't a hard move because I knew Miss Hinton, and she's so wonderful, and she was over the programs at McLennan for so long, and it was such a wonderful mentor situation where I got to learn a lot from her. And really, honestly, I took the job, moved, and never looked back.
Wow, that's really cool.
Great history at McLennan also in this
Amazing,
category.
yes. They just won this past weekend in Jazz again.
Yeah, very good. So great history at McLennan and here at Baylor also. And you met your husband here?
I met him actually when I was an athletic director in Dallas.
Okay.
But he is from here. He is a Baylor grad.
Baylor grad, right.
But he was working in Dallas at the time before y'all moved back?
Yes.
Okay.
We moved back because I got the Baylor job.
Okay, fun. And that was home for him, and so he was excited about that, I imagine?
Yes, he was glad to be back. All his family is here, and then my family has now moved here, so it's just perfect.
Wow.
Very cool. Very good. All right, we talked about the your total squad number is 95. How do you go about selecting them? I know you have tryouts, which are coming up or ongoing. What's that process like?
So the Mascot tryouts are during the spring game.
Okay.
So when you see lots of Bruiser and Marigold circling in and out,
it all makes sense.
Give them a cheer because
but just one at a time, right?
Yes, it'll still
Not
just be
multiple.
a
Gosh,
Bruiser.
I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for this.
I know, exactly. That's like you see Mickey Mouse. Wait, you were just here, and wait, how'd you get here? So.
Oh, no. You still only see one Bruiser and one Marigold on the field.
Baby Kennedy was going to be confused.
Yeah.
But when you do see them, give them a cheer because they are trying out. Interact with them because they are trying trying out to be a member of the team during the spring game.
We will hand them newborns.
Yes. What will you do with this newborn?
That's the test.
Yes. So both the handlers and the performers will be trying out during the spring game. And actually that same day, prelim videos for anybody who is trying out for the cheer or dance teams are due for anybody that would be potential new members. And then our current members will be cheering and dancing at the game per normal.
Gotcha.
And then once we watch all of the prelim videos, myself and the tryout judges, we will select those who will come to the in-person finals here in Waco, May 12th through the 13th.
Okay. And then when they come in person, is it as soon as the 13th that we select our teams?
Yes.
They leave knowing whether they've been offered a spot or not.
Wow.
Yes, they do.
Wow, how exciting. So would you say just in general, I know it's probably hard to say over 3 different teams, but are we graduating a lot of our teammates? Are we bringing in fewer people than normal? Like, how does that kind of turnover look this year?
For mascots, we are only graduating off 1.
Wow, yeah.
And for the other cheer teams and dance teams, there's about 5 to 6 that are graduating out of each program.
Okay, so a pretty normal number, but we're returning just about all of our mascots.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And you told us, I think it's okay to share this, so you've got 1 spot open for the mascots, and how many have applied?
We have 1 spot for sure. We may be increasing the team size this year.
Gotcha.
But we do have 18 trying out.
18
Wow. 19 if you include JMO.
Yeah, that's right. Put me on that
in
list.
his interest. Wow.
Picture that. Wow, that's great. I mean, it shows the interest there.
Yeah.
It does. I think that just them being visible at more, as we've been able to grow the team, we've been able to be at more. And then I think that having 3 national championships doesn't hurt either.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So you mentioned those national championships and how big of a role your team's played in that. Talk a little bit about, we could pick a number of championships, but let's talk a little bit about that 2021 national championship for men's basketball. What did that look like?
Oh, wait, I know where this is going.
Oh, no.
It was
One word, COVID.
Oh, did we not get to travel?
We did not, but
the
we
parade
made the
and
absolute best of it because the student body went to McLean.
Oh, yeah.
And so we cheered at McLean underneath the Jumbotron and everything as if we were at the game.
Oh, that's
so
pretty
honestly, we still had this amazing experience with the men's basketball.
And was that something that across the nation schools were doing, or was that kind of something special that Baylor pulled together when we were in the national championship?
Honestly, to my knowledge, I think it was really just Baylor that decided
cool.
that we're here and we're going to be Baylor proud and we're going to do this.
I love that. That's special. Unfortunately, they couldn't be there in person, but still really special.
But what a wonderful, wonderful place to be if you can't be there in
That's
person.
so true. With
at
the big
McLean
screen.
Stadium with all of the Baylor family. It was a really special night. And then, of course, the parade.
Yeah.
The parade was incredible.
The parade was great. Yeah,
what was that like being a part of? Because working with Erin Bean kind of just came in and she led the charge on that. What was that like?
You would have never have known she just came in.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it
quite
was
a production.
Excellent,
Yeah.
excellent from beginning to end. And again, just one of those really special memories.
Yeah, that's so cool.
That is so fun. What does the tryout look like? You said they send a video first, and then you have the in-person. What's that like?
So the in-person, they will come in and they will do on the cheer side stunting. So on the prelim, it's really about the fight song, their game day, what they would do if they were on the sidelines at McLean Stadium and they're tumbling. And then once they're selected for the in-person, it's really about their stunting. We want to see, are they partner stunts? Are they group stunts? Are they elite stunts? Just things of that nature. Are they versatile? Can they do flying, backing, sighting, maining, all of that? Just because there's so many different times where, maybe you are a flyer most of the time, but there's going to be times we may need you to be a side or a back or a mid layer when we build those big pyramids and things of that nature. So that's what it looks like on the cheer side. On the dance side, again, It's more about the individual skills, showing us the technique combos, showing us the fight song. And both teams do an interview process throughout that because we want to get to know them.
Sure.
We want to get to see how they speak because we go to so many events where we're speaking to the Baylor family and alumni and important people within the Big 12 or the NCAA. And so they need to have that ambassadorship ability to them. And so we look at that. And then when they come to dance tryouts, it's not so much still kind of individualized. It's very team based. What do we look like as a team? How do we build out as a team? How do we take this, 60 people we have here and get it to the 32 people? And how would they work together?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Quite a
obviously
process.
you and your coaching staff are such a big part of that. Also, is the current team pretty involved, the returners, in that process, or no?
They have to try out.
They
So
try
you
out
try out
every
year.
single
Every
year.
year.
Yes.
Wow.
Not
Yes.
guaranteed a spot.
Wow.
Correct.
Who is your countenance coach? Because at basketball, I'm right there courtside. They're right in front of us. The best smiles and just projects so well. So is that natural or is that partly coached?
I would love to take credit for that, but honestly, that is kind of ingrained in them before they get to us.
They do a great job of it.
That's part of what we look for during
Yeah.
that preliminary round. And most of them, so the mascots maybe did it mascot before they came here. But when you come to the cheer and dance side, they were doing this, and they've probably been doing this for a very, very
That's
long
true.
time.
That's true.
And so that's the same thing that their high school teams, their all-star teams, and their dance studios and things we're looking for as well. So it's things that they've been trained to do since they were young.
All right. Take some credit for the countenance. It's good.
I'm
the
gonna,
smiles
I'm
are
gonna
wonderful.
pay attention next time.
Oh,
That's
it's
awesome.
wonderful.
Aw.
And you are the director of Spirit and Traditions. You have had a person right by your side, Jenny Farmer, for the last few
Yes.
years, but Jenny is leaving us, just left this week to pursue another opportunity, basically with kids to work at home. So
Absolutely.
we wish her nothing but the best, and we'll miss Jenny. But that opens up. Do you have a spot open on your staff right now?
We do. We have 2 full-time spots
Two?
open on our staff
Okay.
right now. So I'm really excited about that. One of those we're gaining
Okay.
this year, and then one is to replace Jenny.
Okay.
So you kind of oversee more Mascot song leaders, and then was Jenny working specifically with all girl?
So the way that it is, I technically oversee all 4.
Sure.
And but I specifically coached song and mascot. So I kind of oversee all 4 and then coached. And then Jenny assisted me in overseeing everything, and then she coached all girl and co-ed with the assistance of Daniel, who coached all girl and co-ed as well.
Gotcha.
Wow.
Very
Okay.
good.
So a lot of opportunities to join
Yeah.
and help out our Spirit
Yes.
programs. That's a really exciting time. But I'm sure also working with Jenny for so long, that consistency
Well,
piece
and
is
she's
probably
so
hard.
special.
Oh,
Yeah,
she's the
she's
best.
such a special, bright, great, amazing person. So she will
Great.
definitely be missed, but we will do our best to continue to, excel at a high level and bring in the best person to represent those squads in the future.
Yeah, and with Jenny still being in Waco, she can give us all the feedback in the world.
Absolutely, and I have
Right.
asked her for that. But the really awesome part is there's a lot of alumni so far that have expressed interest in these positions.
Oh,
So
great.
it's always nice when alumni want to come back because they had such a great experience.
Yeah, and
That
you
is
talk
good.
about the ambassadorship piece of what you guys do. I mean, that is such a big character quality for people to be invested in Baylor and want to be part of that, leading our team. So that's so exciting.
Absolutely.
We'll miss Jenny, but you'll find someone good, 2 people really good in that
Yeah.
position. Funny thing is, I mentioned April 1st. I was doing A&T. It was Marigold's birthday that day. Jenny that day comes by and says, I don't know if you've heard or not, but I'm leaving. And April 1st. And I said, oh, no. Oh, wait, it's April Fool's Day. Okay, I got you. You almost had me there. And she said, no, I really am. And I said, yeah, right. So then I saw her the next week, and she said, I really am
I'm
leaving.
still leaving. Oh,
But
that's
she told
no
me on
fun.
April 1st.
Oh.
It's funny that happened because she's kind of a jokester. Like she does like
Yeah.
to do jokes, and she
Yeah.
is funny. So it's kind of funny that that's how that happened because
She-
her
yeah.
personality. That
She could have pulled it off really well.
Yeah, I love
That's
her.
great.
She's the best.
So people listening, if they want more information about the jobs available, about maybe applying, or just more information, where can they find that?
They can find it on the job opportunities through Baylor University.
Okay.
They can also find it through social media. We've been pushing it out through all social media, and they can also just contact me directly.
Okay.
I would be more than happy to give them any of the information and lead them in the right direction.
Very good.
And then for tryouts coming up, is that still an open tryout? If people are still interested, is that the same way that they would reach out, or are we kind of hitting our deadline already?
We're starting to hit our deadline. We do still have a virtual clinic that is available. They would just have a short time span that they could learn the material.
Okay.
But it is still available.
Still
if they
possible.
contact me, I can get them those links and the information so they can learn the appropriate material for the preliminary rounds of tryouts.
Yeah.
But we're starting to get closer to the close of that window because everything's due on the 22nd.
Gotcha.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Act quickly. Very good.
Yes.
All right, very good. Well, it's so fun to visit with you, and y'all do such a great job. Pass it along
really
to all
do.
of your. Would you consider them student athletes?
Yeah.
Yes, I would.
I would too. Yeah,
I think
yeah.
so as well.
So pass along our appreciation for everything they do to help the atmosphere and the energy at all of our sporting events, but not just sporting events. I mean, other things as well. I think about the chamber, kickoff luncheon and tip-off luncheon, and there's some of our Spirit Squad, right there welcoming people in. I mean, that's just one small thing, but there's so many of those.
Yeah, and makes such a big impact on
Yeah.
all Baylor events.
Yeah.
And they love that stuff. They really do. They love getting to speak to the Baylor family.
That's really special.
Make sure they know how much we appreciate it, too.
Yeah, please do.
Great.
I will for sure.
Great to have you on with us. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Have you been looking for a new podcast to listen to? Are you interested in true crime, funny one-star reviews, or inspiring stories? What about the history of Waco or the famous people who have lived and worked there? All these and more are produced by Rogue Media Network. There are over 80, different shows, including this one, with more coming all the time. If there's a story to tell, Rogue Media Network is telling it. Watch on YouTube or listen now wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, very good. Fun to visit with Kristen Hankins today. I have said that for years. I'd love to be Bruiser at some point.
Jamo, you know the right people. I think she could make you Bruiser.
Yeah, well,
I would love to see that.
I would be way down. No, the fun part would be to do it, but nobody knows it's me.
Nobody knows it's you. And maybe
Yes.
like in a nice, brisk November game. I don't see you signing up for September.
I'm a little busy doing other things at a
Right,
brisk
right.
November game.
That's
but
fair.
maybe somewhere. I actually can't remember her name who was here previously. She asked me one time, hey, we've got a game. You want to do it? And I couldn't do it that day. So I came that close.
So close to the
being
dream.
Bruiser,
It's not
but-
too late for you.
Maybe it'll happen someday. All right. Thanks to Kristen Hankins being on with us, Baylor's Director of Spirit and Traditions. For Katie Smith, I'm John Morris. And that is this week's Sikkim Podcast, powered by Rogue Media Network.
You've been listening to the Sikkim Podcast, powered by Rogue Media Network. The Sikkim Podcast is a production of Baylor Athletics.